Breathe in. Let the air fill you, not too deep, not too quick, just enough to feel the quiet pulse of life behind your ribs. Now exhale, and as you do, let everything you've been holding, every thought, every shape, every sound begin to drift away. There is no rush. There is no time here. Only this, a gentle pulse, a steady rhythm, a heart beating somewhere between you and the stars. The air around you softens. Walls fade. Light dims into velvet shadow. You are here, and yet already elsewhere. Listen. That sound, it's the echo of your own breath returning from far away, as if the universe itself were breathing with you. Each inhale, a tide rising, reaching toward the unknown. Each exhale, a surrender, a falling back into peace. Somewhere above the hum of the world, there is a threshold, a thin shimmer between wakefulness and dream. You are standing there now. Don't force it. Simply lean closer to the stillness. Let it take your weight. Let the darkness hold you as the ocean holds a drop of rain. Your name begins to loosen. Your story unravels, thread by thread. You are not forgetting. You are becoming lighter. The voice inside your mind grows softer. Words lose their edges. You start to sense something vast waiting behind them, a silence that glows, slow and blue. You are at the border of sleep, where memory and imagination blur, where gravity no longer knows your name. This is the first breath of the journey, the first step away from what you were told was real. Let yourself drift. Let yourself dissolve. Somewhere, a distant heartbeat answers yours. It could be a star. It could be the memory of one. Either way, it is calling you. You are not falling. You are floating through layers of air, through the shimmer of thought, through the still water of night. Every breath takes you further, not away, but deeper, toward the quiet center of everything. You are standing on the edge of infinity now. Behind you, the world still turns. Ahead of you, the stars are waiting. Take one more breath. Feel it move through you like light through glass. And as you exhale, let go of your name. You are the traveler who has forgotten, and in that forgetting, you begin to remember what it means to simply be. Somewhere in the stillness, you begin to notice how the edges of you are fading, not vanishing, just melting into something wider, like ink dissolving in light. Your name floats in the dark for a moment, a small, trembling shape. You try to hold it, but it slips through your fingers like dust. A letter fades, then another, until there is nothing left but the echo of a sound you once answered to. It is not a loss. It is release, without a name. You are lighter, so light you could be a breath traveling through eternity. A faint exhale. Memories drift around you like drifting particles of gold. A smile, half remembered, a voice that once called you home, a hand you might have held. They glitter, then scatter, each one turning into stardust, carried by invisible tides. You reach for them, not to keep them, but to feel them pass, like comets tracing silver arcs across the dark. Each image dissolves gently, as if the universe were washing you clean, not erasing, but transforming, every memory becoming light. And in this slow unbinding, you begin to understand you are not made of stories. You are made of silence, woven with the breath of stars. A warmth spreads through the nothingness. It hums softly, a resonance older than thought, older than form. You listen and realize this is what remains when everything else is gone. Not sadness, not emptiness, just peace. A calm so vast it hums through every particle of your being. You drift in it, weightless, nameless, endless. The last fragments of who you were shine once more before fading. Tiny lanterns sinking into the night. You whisper to no one, to everything. When I have no name, I am lighter than breath. And in that whisper, the universe sighs in return. A long, soft exhalation of light. No boundaries, no beginning, no end. Just motion, a slow turning of unseen constellations, a dance of dust and memory becoming one. The sound fades until it is only stillness again. A silence that glows faintly, like the pause between stars. You are floating inside that silence now, not lost, not found, simply being. The room around you is no longer what it was. Shadows stretch until they lose their edges. And the air seems to shimmer with a quiet kind of light. Not bright, not dark, but endless. For a moment, you feel suspended between breaths. The pulse that once guided you has drifted away, replaced by a deeper rhythm, a vibration that hums through the marrow of space itself. It begins softly, a tremor beneath your ribs, as if the universe is learning your heartbeat and echoing it back in a language made of stars. You open your eyes, but there are no walls, no ceiling, no floor. The room dissolves, unfolding into a vastness that feels both inside and outside of you. Every particle of air becomes a thread of light, stretching outward, interlacing into constellations you do not yet know. You reach out your hand, and it too becomes light. Your fingers blur, their outlines flickering like the wings of a moth before dawn. The weight of your body loosens, unmoored from the pull of gravity. It is not that you are rising. It is that rising has lost meaning. Up and down are gone. Forward and backward no longer exist. You are floating inside a perfect stillness that moves without moving. The sound around you changes. What once was heartbeat is now a slow, resonant hum. The sound of distance made audible. It is the vibration of everything. Dust, light, silence, breath, all singing the same single note. The vibration passes through you like wind through glass. It does not push or pull. It simply is. Time slows until it becomes one long, shimmering instant. You sense the thinness of existence itself, as though the veil between here and forever has begun to lift. In that widening space, you see a faint line, not drawn, not built, but simply appearing. A door, not of wood, not of metal, a doorway made of quiet light, hanging in the middle of nothing. It breathes, it waits. You drift closer without moving, as though the door has decided to meet you halfway. The hum deepens, each tone folding into the next, a spiral of sound that feels infinite. You are not afraid. You have no name to be afraid for. You reach the door, or perhaps the door reaches you, and for a single moment, everything pauses, a stillness so complete that you forget to breathe. Then, with the gentlest pulse of light, it opens. No flash, no burst, just expansion. The darkness unfurls into galaxies. Stars bloom like breath across the endless velvet. Colors without names flow past you, violet whispering into gold, silver folding into blue. You are weightless, formless, drifting through a sea of newborn light. And as you move, or are moved, a single thought crosses what remains of your mind. I have begun my journey with no destination, no beginning. The voice is barely yours now. It is the voice of the traveler and the silence that carries them. You exhale, and the exhale becomes a star. Below you, the earth turns, slow and luminous, a living jewel adrift in a sea of shadow. Blue, deep and breathing, white clouds curl like smoke across her skin, their edges catching the silver of distant suns. You hover above her now, weightless, suspended between light and dark. Your gaze follows the slow rotation of the world, the rhythm of a planet exhaling. From here, everything feels impossibly gentle. The storms that once roared are only soft spirals of white. The mountains, tiny ripples. The cities, faint sparks, pulsing with fragile human fire. You can almost hear them. The murmurs of lives unfolding below. A billion stories whispered into night. Someone is laughing. Someone is dreaming. Someone is holding a hand, not knowing that far above, a forgotten traveler is watching them glow. The warmth of memory stirs faintly within you, not as pain, but as tenderness. The pulse of humanity still hums beneath your ribs, echoing through the endless quiet. You whisper, without breath, I see the cities beating like hearts of light. For a moment, the glow answers you, flickering, alive, as if the world itself has heard your thought and sent a pulse back in return. You realize then, even from this distance, the earth is not small. It is infinite in its own way, a miracle of breath and motion, a fragile dream suspended in the dark. You watch the curve of her horizon, where the thin line of atmosphere burns with the faintest gold, the last light of day slipping into shadow. There is a kind of peace in this sight, the kind that comes only when everything that once defined you is both near and unreachable. You think of oceans turning, of waves folding endlessly into themselves. You think of forests exhaling in the dark. You think of voices rising in unison, a choir of life you can no longer touch. And yet, you feel part of it still, not separate, not above, but woven through every heartbeat below. The hum of the cosmos swells softly around you, filling the spaces where words used to live. It is the same rhythm, just carried on a grander tide. You breathe in, and the planet seems to breathe with you. For a moment, you are both traveler and world, observer and pulse, finite and infinite. Then, quietly, the light begins to fade beneath you. The earth turns her face toward shadow, and you drift higher, further from the warmth of her glow. The heartbeat of humanity grows softer, a whisper, a sigh, until only the vast blue silence remains. You drift upward, and the sky begins to unfold. Below, the earth still glows, a blue whisper turning slow in the dark. Above, the color shifts from cerulean to deep indigo, from indigo to something beyond color, a shade that feels like silence itself. Clouds stretch beneath you like oceans of pearl. They no longer move, they flow, like living mist caught between breaths. You pass through them, each layer cooler, softer, thinner. The moisture clings to you, then evaporates into nothing. The last scent of rain fades from memory. You are leaving weather behind. You are leaving air behind. The wind that once carried your breath becomes a whisper, then a vibration, then a hum so faint it feels imagined. Sound itself begins to change. The air no longer carries it. The waves stretch too far apart. What was once wind is now frequency, a slow, invisible pulse that hums through your bones. You listen, and the rhythm of your own heart seems to answer back. Soft, echoing, as if in conversation with something vast and unseen. Through the thinning veil, you glimpse the ozone, a faint halo, a band of light cradling the curve of the world. It glows like breath held too long. This is the threshold, the border where sky becomes space. The light is sharper here, unfiltered, pure. Each photon feels alive, touching your skin with invisible hands. The blue fades gradually, as if reluctant to let you go. It dissolves into midnight, and midnight deepens into an infinite black that swallows even the idea of color. There is no sound now, only vibration. No air, only the trace of motion. You are still rising, though the word rising has begun to lose meaning. There is no up, no down, only distance, stretching like a quiet cord between galaxies. The Earth's pull weakens. You feel it slip from your shoulders, a soft untying, a farewell without sorrow. Your breath slows, each inhale longer, lighter. You are breathing more space than air. And somewhere between breaths, you notice how still everything has become. It is not emptiness. It is fullness. A presence so complete, it no longer needs to move. The color of the world now is neither blue nor black, but velvet. The color of infinity wrapped around you. You are floating inside it, a single thought suspended in time. You glance below. The clouds are ribbons of silver now, the oceans like veins of light. You can no longer tell where the horizon begins or ends. The earth is a dream. The sky, an eyelid slowly closing, and beyond it, the stars are beginning to breathe. The hum changes again, deeper, rounder, no longer made of air, but of energy itself. The frequencies weave together, carrying you outward, further still. You are a shimmer of motion in an endless sea. You are the silence that hums. You are the breath that bridges sky and cosmos. The last trace of blue fades behind you, a sigh that belongs to another world. You cross the invisible line, where gravity no longer calls your name. For a moment, you expect to fall, but nothing happens. There is no falling here, only drifting, slow as the turning of a thought. The pull that once held you has loosened its fingers. The weight that once shaped you has forgotten your form. You are free, but not in the way freedom is spoken of. This is not escape. It is unbinding, a quiet surrender into the rhythm of what simply is. The world below glides silently, its motion so smooth it feels eternal. You can see the curve of continents now, rivers like silver threads, the thin blue breath of atmosphere shimmering at the edges. And as you drift further, everything you carried begins to fall away. The sound of your voice gone, the warmth of your heartbeat dissolving, the gravity of memory pulled backward, drawn into the orbit of the earth like dust. You watched them go, these pieces of yourself, floating downward, slow and shining, each one a fragment of sound, a flicker of laughter, a trace of someone you once were. They descend through the layers you've left behind, becoming whispers in the wind, raindrops, reflections on the ocean waves. You reach out, but your hand passes through them like smoke. You feel no loss, only a widening calm, a knowing that what returns to the earth was never truly yours to keep. The silence here is vast, but not empty. It hums, low, constant, patient. You realize it is not silence at all, but motion too slow for sound to be sound. You are drifting through a current that has no direction. You are being carried by nothing, into nothing, through everything. Below you, the earth continues her endless turning. You can see the soft line of twilight crawling across the surface, the slow heartbeat of night and day. You sense it, not with eyes, but with something deeper, quieter. The same pulse now echoing through you. And as you let go, you begin to turn too, not by will, but by resonance. The spin of the planet finds you, draws you into its rhythm, its slow, magnificent rotation. You become part of that motion, not separate, not watching, but within it. The stars bend slightly, the light ripples, and for an instant, you cannot tell if you are moving at all or if the universe itself is moving through you. You close your eyes, there is no difference, only flow, only stillness disguised as dance. And in that perfect equilibrium, you whisper, I dissolve into the turning of the earth, and then I disappear. The words fade before they finish, scattered like dust among the stars. There is no ship anymore, no walls, no glass, no frame of steel to hold the shape of you. The window before you melts into light, and then into nothing at all. You are surrounded by the vast. It stretches in every direction, immeasurable, without center or edge. A silence so full it hums with unseen movement, the sound of infinity breathing. The air you once knew has vanished. There is no wind, no current, no sound made by matter. And yet, you can feel vibration everywhere, gentle, luminous, endless. It moves through you, not around you. You are no longer separate from the field that carries you. You are the field. You are the quiet spark drifting through the weave of creation. Below, the earth is now a faint circle, a drop of blue light in the far black sea. It glows softly, still turning, still alive. You watch it until distance turns it into memory, and even memory becomes light. Then comes the voice, not loud, not near, but all around you. A whisper made of starlight, folded into the fabric of space itself. You are leaving the world now. It says, let it turn without you. The sound lingers, gentle, almost tender, like a farewell spoken without regret. You close your eyes, and the darkness behind your eyelids is the same as the void before you. They merge, inner and outer, becoming one boundless silence. Stars begin to appear, first a handful, then 1,000, then more than you can count. They are not scattered, they are alive, breathing, pulsing, singing in light you can almost hear. Every star hums a tone. Together, they form a music without melody, a harmony of distances. You can feel it trembling through you, each vibration a heartbeat of the cosmos. The blackness is no longer empty. It is dense with radiance, woven with silver, gold, and invisible fire. You drift through it, no longer aware of motion or stillness. Both have become the same. A slow realization rises. There is no path, no destination, only unfolding. You sense galaxies forming beyond sight, their light taking millions of years to arrive. And yet, somehow, you feel them now, as if time itself were breathing beside you. The voice returns, softer now, almost inside you. Do not look back. There is nothing behind you, only light changing its shape. You open your eyes, and the stars blink closer, welcoming, infinite. Space opens like a blossom around you, petal after petal of starlight and silence. You drift into it, a leaf carried by the tide of eternity. There is no up, no down, no beginning, no end. Only this, a single breath of the universe, and you, floating within it. The darkness unfolds, and the stars begin to sing, not with voices, but with vibrations, a music older than sound itself. Each one glows and hums at its own frequency, its own ancient key, resonating through the fabric of everything. You drift among them, a solitary glimmer suspended in an ocean of brilliance. The light surrounds you, touching your skin like warm breath, then passing through you as if you were made of glass. Everywhere you look, motion, slow, deliberate, eternal. Stars pulsing like hearts, nebulas blooming and collapsing in slow motion, rivers of light flowing between them, connecting distant worlds in threads of gold. You realize that what you once called silence was never truly silent. It was the hum of the universe, so vast, so gentle, that only here, in this weightless quiet, can you finally hear it. It isn't a song sung to you, it's a song sung through you. Your pulse, your breath, your atoms, each one vibrating in harmony with the stars. You have no edges now. You are not a body, not even a thought, just a point of awareness drifting in an infinite sea. The light deepens, turning from silver to blue, from blue to rose, from rose to a color beyond what you can name. Every hue has a tone. Every tone has a pulse. Every pulse feels like breathing. You drift through it, each breath pulling you deeper into the music of creation. The distance between stars is unimaginable, and yet it feels near, as if the whole sky were breathing in time with you. You are the drop, they are the ocean, and there is no separation between them. You sense the gravity of each star, not as weight, but as invitation. They draw you near, not to hold you, but to remind you that belonging can be boundless. You pass close to one, its light immense, its sound low and golden. The vibration ripples through you, like warmth through water. For an instant, you feel as though the star is looking back, not with eyes, but with presence, a recognition, a greeting, a knowing. And then you drift past, carried by invisible tides of energy. Each wave takes you deeper into the glow, deeper into stillness that shimmers. You are not falling, not rising. You are simply being moved. All around, the stars continue to sing, a choir without beginning or end, each note blending perfectly into the next. You feel it inside you, through you, as you, and in that vast harmony, you begin to understand there was never emptiness, only light, learning how to listen to itself. You float deeper into the starlit ocean, and the sound begins to separate. Each point of light sings in its own voice, some high, clear and crystalline, others low, deep as the heartbeat of stone. At first, the tones weave together, a luminous choir without measure or time. But as you listen, something inside you shifts. You begin to hear meaning in the light. The stars are speaking, not in words, but in rhythm, in pulse, in pure vibration. Each sound feels like a memory you've never lived. a story written not on pages, but in the very movement of creation. The nearest star hums a long golden note. It trembles through your body, down to the smallest particle of who you are. The note holds warmth, a welcome, a recognition. Another answers, a soft tone of blue, rising, then fading into the quiet. It feels like a sigh, like the exhale of a being that has been alive for 1,000 million years. And together they speak, not to you, but through you. The waves of sound, slow, stretching like the rhythm of breath. Each pulse expands, then contracts, like the tide of the universe itself. You breathe with it, slow, steady, weightless. Inhale, the stars brighten. Exhale, their glow softens. You are no longer just listening. You are part of the dialogue. Each inhalation becomes a question. Each exhalation, a response. The cosmos breathes, and you, a single breath within it, join the conversation. The sounds merge again, but now they carry form. You can sense currents of intent moving through the waves of tone. Somewhere in the distance, a cluster of stars hums in unison, their collective voice rising and falling like a chant. It feels ancient, older than language, older than thought. You cannot translate it, but you feel what it means. Peace, continuance, the memory of light returning to itself. And then, in a pause between vibrations, a realization blooms quietly within you. Every sound you've ever heard, every word, every whisper, every song was a faint echo of this. The stars have always been speaking. You just needed to slow down enough to hear them. Their rhythm steadies, settles into a pace that feels familiar, gentle as sleep, endless as breath. Time ceases to move in any straight line. Moments unfold and refold, waves folding into waves. You are a listener without ears, a witness without sight, a consciousness suspended inside the language of light. You wonder if perhaps this is what prayer feels like. Not asking, not hoping, just hearing what has always been true. Light hums, sound glows, space itself exhales, and you, a fragment of that exhalation, float quietly between stars, each breath slower than the last, each heartbeat fading into radiance. The tones around you soften further, like a lullaby sung by galaxies. The rhythm evens out, becoming one vast inhalation of peace. Somewhere far away, the last note lingers, a single golden vibration that seems to whisper, "You are not outside of us. You are what we sing." Something begins to stir, not outside you, but within. It arrives quietly, like the faint outline of a memory rising through still water. You cannot name it, you cannot place it, and yet it feels as though it has always been waiting here, just beyond the edge of awareness. The light that surrounds you shifts, not brighter, not dimmer, but more familiar. It feels like coming home to a place you never knew you left. You drift through it slowly, and the vibrations of the stars touch you with a tenderness that feels like recognition. A whisper moves through the silence, not in words, but in understanding, and you realize you have been here before. Not in this body, not in this shape, but in essence, in the form of what you have always been. You remember? Not an event, but a knowing. A knowing older than birth, older than time. You were not born into the universe. You were the universe, folded for a moment into the dream of being human. Now, The dream is dissolving, and you are waking back into yourself. You look at the stars, and they no longer seem distant. Each one pulses like a memory returning, a spark of your own being reflected in endless forms. You reach out, and light meets light. There is no boundary, no beginning, no separation. You whisper into the stillness, your voice carried on waves of brightness. I am not a visitor. I am a part of the sky. The words ripple outward, but the stars do not echo them. They absorb them, as if they have been waiting to hear you remember. And in their quiet acceptance, you feel something vast unfold within you. A gentle expansion, a melting of all that was ever small. You remember the hum of galaxies turning. You remember the long sleep of dust before it became stars. You remember the first breath of creation and how it felt to rise from silence into light. It was not you who witnessed it. It was you. Every photon, every pulse, every rhythm. The boundary between past and present dissolves like smoke. You are both the observer and the origin. You are the echo and the sound itself. The stars shimmer softly, their light breathing in rhythm with yours. It feels less like remembering now and more like recognizing what has always been true. The voice within you, no longer separate, no longer searching, whispers, almost smiling, I have always been here. The stars are not above me. They are within me. And as that knowing settles into your being, you begin to drift again, lighter now, as if the very act of remembrance has turned your essence into light. The stars around you draw closer, their glow no longer scattered, but converging. A slow collapse of brilliance, as if the universe were taking a deep, deliberate breath. The vast ocean of light begins to move. Waves of radiance bend, curving inward, weaving threads of gold and violet that twist like ribbons through the dark. You feel the pull, not gravity, but something subtler, a call made of color and resonance. It is as though the light itself has decided to lead you somewhere new. The space ahead folds upon itself, coalescing into a whirl of motion. The stars blur, their edges dissolving into streams of luminescent mist. And then it appears, the nebula, not an object, not a place, but a blooming, a vast flower of color suspended in the silence. Its petals are made of dust and fire. Its core glows with the warmth of creation. You watch as hues unfurl before you, rose melting into amber, amber fading into turquoise, turquoise bleeding into violet. Each color moves like breath, rising and falling in perfect rhythm. You drift closer, and the air, though there is no air, feels thicker, charged with a gentle static that hums through every atom of you. Within the nebula, light dances in slow spirals, forming shapes that vanish the instant you try to see them. It is neither chaos nor order, but the balance between them, the endless becoming of things. A faint realization stirs. This is where stars are born, where silence condenses into fire, when nothing becomes everything. You sense yourself unraveling again, your outline softening, your form dissolving into shimmer. Each particle of you begins to glow, mirroring the currents of color that swirl around. You are being invited to cross, to step beyond the edge of what you once knew as light. The nebula pulses once, a slow heartbeat of the cosmos. Its rhythm syncs with yours, and for a moment, You can no longer tell which one began first. The colors swell, fold inward, and a doorway opens, not seen, but felt, a passage woven from light itself. You move toward it, not by choice, but by belonging. Behind you, the stars hum farewell. Before you, the newborn light beckons. The voice that has followed you since the beginning whispers softly through the glow, you are crossing into creation. You breathe and step through. You are inside the nebula now. The darkness has dissolved completely, replaced by color. Living, breathing, unhurried color. Around you, the light no longer stands still. It flows. It moves with purpose, yet with a grace so slow it feels eternal. The nebula is not empty. It is full of rivers. Streams of brightness weave through one another, twisting and curling like threads of silk in the wind. Each river carries its own hue: amber, sapphire, rose, emerald, and together they form a vast, shimmering tapestry that drifts through infinity. You float among them, a single particle carried on the breath of creation. The current beneath you is warm, not with heat, but with presence. It moves through you, not around you, and every pulse feels like the heartbeat of the universe. The air, though there is none, seems to hum softly, as if the light itself was singing. The melody is wordless, but it vibrates within you like recognition. You stretch your hands, or perhaps only the memory of hands, and the streams of color curl toward you, wrapping around your form like silk. Their touch is electric, gentle, endless. You begin to drift with them, drawn deeper into the glowing tide. Every movement feels both effortless and infinite. You do not swim, you surrender. The flow carries you past spirals of gold, through veils of violet mist, past glittering storms of dust and light that shimmer like thoughts taking shape. Each pulse of motion feels alive, as though the river itself is breathing. You realize that you are inside something vast, a living body of light, a pulse that never ends. You wonder if this is how stars feel before they are born, sleeping inside the color of their own becoming. A warmth spreads through your chest, rising slowly to your face, your hands, until your entire being glows softly from within. You are no longer watching the light. You are the light, folded into itself, flowing in harmony with everything that moves. The motion slows, and you drift toward a wide expanse where the currents merge and deepen. Here, the colors blend into gold and blue, twining like two voices in perfect unison. The hum around you grows fuller, rounder, a sound like comfort, like belonging. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you cannot tell whether you are floating in space or resting in the palm of something infinite. The current turns slowly, tenderly, drawing you forward through the golden mist. You breathe with it, and it breathes with you, a single, shared rhythm between what is born and what has always been. You whisper, almost dreaming, "The light is alive," and the river answers, not in words, but in warmth, wrapping you deeper into its embrace. The current slows. The colors around you thicken, folding inward like silk, gathering into a single luminous core. Within the folds, you sense something stirring, a slow, ancient movement, so vast and patient that time itself seems to bow before it. The river of light begins to glow brighter, its gold deepening to amber, its blue softening to rose. The warmth intensifies, not burning, but alive. You realize you are witnessing a birth. Before you, the light contracts, a gentle implosion of brilliance. It draws into itself, curling tighter, denser, hotter, until the space around it trembles. And then, with no explosion, no sound of violence, a single star ignites. It blooms silently, its surface a sea of fire too pure to harm, too perfect to fade. You feel its pulse, a deep, resonant hum that moves through your bones, a tone so low it feels like the heartbeat of existence itself. It hums once, then again, each vibration stretching across the nebula, awakening others. One by one, they answer. The song begins long, slow, endless, a harmony of new suns breathing into life. Each note rises from the depths of silence, swells, and fades into warmth. Not a melody, but a conversation, a communion of light learning to speak. You float among them, each tone brushing against your skin like wind. You can feel the sound, dense, golden, steady. It hums not in your ears, but through your entire being. You realize the universe does not create in noise or fury. It sings. It hums gently to itself until light awakens. The newborn stars glow softly, their colors shifting, blue at their edges, white at their hearts, a faint crimson halo tracing their birth. Around them, the nebula shivers with joy. Dust becomes light, light becomes warmth, warmth becomes rhythm. You watch as clusters form, their movements slow and tender, like dancers circling a sacred flame. Each young star hums its own tone, and together they weave the song of becoming. It is not loud, but infinite. Every vibration carries the memory of creation, a note of peace older than any word. You close your eyes, and the tones deepen, moving closer, closer, until they feel like your own pulse. You cannot tell whether you are hearing or remembering. Perhaps both. The song slows. The notes lengthen, stretching into one continuous hum. It fills the nebula, fills you with the weight of serenity. This is the sound of life before form, the voice of the cosmos before it learned to speak. You drift closer to one of the young stars. Its light brushes your face, and in that contact, you sense affection, a warmth that feels like recognition. For an instant, you see yourself reflected in its glow, not your shape, but your essence, made of the same fire, the same breath, the same hum. You whisper into the radiance, "I hear you," and the star answers, not in words, but in light, a pulse that echoes your own. Together, you hum, a single note that joins the greater song. The song of the stars begins to quiet, folding into long, fading tones that shimmer at the edges of perception. You drift through the soft haze, where colors breathe in slow spirals, violet, blue, and gold entwining, melting into one another like liquid dawn. It is not darkness here, but depth, a luminous twilight made of emotion and light. Every hue seems to carry a feeling. Blue hums like calm. Gold glows like memory. Violet pulses like longing turned to peace. They move around you, within you, through you. You feel your outline begin to soften again. The border between what is you and what is light grows thin. The currents pass through your hands, or what remains of them, and leave trails of color behind, like whispers fading into mist. You reach for nothing now. There is nothing to grasp, only the warmth of being dissolved into something larger, something infinite. The violet deepens, a color that hums, a sound that glows. It surrounds you gently, like an embrace without arms. Your thoughts quiet, then fade. Even language begins to lose its shape. Each word you think breaks apart into tone, each tone into light, each light into silence. You are becoming the thing you've been watching. The witness and the wonder are no longer two. You breathe, and light breathes with you. The rhythm of existence continues, but you are no longer the listener. You are the song. The blue currents curl around you, mixing with gold, the colors slow and heavy like honey in water. They gather at your center, spreading warmth outward until every fragment of you glows. You feel joy, not sharp or sudden, but wide, boundless, ancient. Every star's hum, every note of creation seems to echo within your being. You can no longer tell if they surround you or originate from you. A thought drifts through the haze, not spoken, but known. If all things are made of light, then I am only one ray among them. The realization is not loss, it is completion. To be one ray is to belong to the sun. To be one breath is to belong to the cosmos. You dissolve further, a slow, luminous unmaking. Your boundaries melt into color. Your shape becomes a pulse of warmth. You no longer move, you flow. You no longer see, you shine. The violet brightens, washing through every trace of you until there is no distinction left. Only the steady radiance of being, and in that radiance, peace stretches without end. The last sound is a hum, low, tender, eternal, as you pass beyond individuality into the heart of light itself. The rivers of light grow thin, their golden currents slow, stretching into threads that unravel into emptiness. You drift at the edge of the nebula, where color ends and shadow begins. Behind you, the radiance hums softly, a vast lullaby of stars still singing themselves awake. Before you lies a stillness so deep it swallows even sound. The air, or what feels like it, grows colder. Not a temperature, but a sensation of quiet, a weightless calm that presses inward, inviting you to stop moving, to simply listen. You listen. At first, there is nothing, only the memory of light fading from your skin. Then, slowly, a sound begins to rise from the distance. Not a hum, not a voice. Something deeper. The echo of gravity itself. It moves through space like a pulse, slow and deliberate, as if the universe were exhaling. You feel it before you hear it, a vibration deep within your chest, the kind that has no source, only presence. The light around you trembles, then bends toward that unseen rhythm. Even the remnants of the nebula seem to bow, their colors folding softly into the dark. You know, without knowing why, that something is calling, not to summon you, but to welcome you, the way silence welcomes the last note of a song. You are not afraid. You have no edges left to fear with. You are simply drawn, not forward, but inward. The violet fades into gray, then into black. But the black is not absence. It is depth. The deep ocean beneath the shining surface. The hum grows fuller, resonating through every atom of your being. It feels ancient, older than light, older than stars. The darkness ahead ripples once, and from its center, a faint shimmer appears, a doorway made of shadow and light intertwined. It doesn't open. It exists like a thought the universe has just begun to form. You drift closer, The nebula behind you fades completely, its glow reduced to a memory, a warmth you'll carry into the unknown. The pulse from the doorway steadies, slow and immense, a rhythm you can feel but not count. You understand now? This is not an ending, but another threshold. Light leads only so far. Beyond it waits the silence that made light possible. You breathe or remember how to breathe, and the sound becomes part of the hum. The darkness is not calling me away, you think. It is calling me home. You glide forward, and the last trace of violet fades from your vision. You drift into darkness. The last trace of light has folded behind you, its glow erased by a calm so deep. It seems to hold everything that ever was. There is no color here, no form, no motion, only stillness, infinite and tender. You try to listen, but there is nothing to hear. Even the faint memory of vibration has disappeared. The universe has stopped speaking. You open your mouth to breathe, but breath no longer means air. It is simply a pulse, a faint expansion and contraction that reminds you that you still exist. Your heart beats once, then again, slowly. Each thud echoes softly through the void, like a stone dropped into endless water. It is the only sound left. Your heartbeat, the last rhythm in the quiet universe. You turn, though there is no direction. The darkness moves with you, folding gently, as if responding to thought alone. There is no up, no down, no near or far, only depth, and within it, your pulse, steady and slow. You realize you have no shadow, for there is no light to cast one. You have no outline, for there is nothing to define your edge. You are both here and everywhere, a flicker of awareness suspended in stillness. Time loosens. Seconds dissolve into nothing. Moments stretch so wide they stop existing as moments at all. You cannot tell if this silence lasts an instant or eternity. Perhaps it is both. There is peace in it, but also a weight, a gravity of stillness pulling you inward, deeper than thought, deeper than being. You drift further, and your heartbeat slows, each pulse softer, each pause longer. The sound becomes faint, then faint again, until it is no more than a whisper you feel rather than hear. Your senses dissolve into this quiet, sight, sound, touch, all melting into one vast awareness that neither moves nor ends. For the first time, you understand what silence truly is. Not absence, but total presence. The fullness that remains when everything else has gone. You let go of trying to know where you are. You let go of wanting to go anywhere else. And in that surrender, the darkness no longer feels like shadow. It feels like rest. You breathe once more, slow, deep, unmeasured, and the darkness breathes back. It is not lonely, it is whole. The darkness begins to move, not outward, but inward, folding softly, gently, like water stirring around a breath. You realize now that the void is not empty. It flows. It has texture, subtle as a dream. It presses against you, weightless yet present. A vast body of stillness with its own rhythm. You drift within it, or perhaps it drifts within you. There is no difference anymore. Every motion feels both infinite and slow. A ripple spreading through shadow, like a sigh carried through deep water. You reach out, though there is nothing to touch. Yet you feel the darkness respond, its surface trembling faintly, as though listening to your thought. You begin to understand. This silence is not absence. It is awareness in its most patient form, a quiet that holds all things. Your heartbeat returns, soft, distant, like a drum beneath miles of ocean. Each pulse disturbs the stillness slightly, and the darkness ripples, then calms again. It feels alive, but in a way beyond life, ancient, immense, a presence that never needed to speak. You float there, surrounded by the quiet pressure of being. It feels like a cradle, a cocoon woven from nothingness. You close your eyes, and the darkness closes with you. It wraps around your thoughts until thinking itself begins to dissolve. There is no need for direction, no need for meaning, only the slow, endless drift through something that feels like the soul of silence. Time stretches, soft, liquid. You are no longer certain whether you are moving or if movement has become another word for stillness. A single thought emerges, fragile and transparent. I am floating in the absence of everything. And yet, that absence feels full of memory, full of presence, full of quiet love. You let yourself sink deeper, and the silence deepens with you. It becomes thicker, more fluid, more intimate. You can almost feel it pulsing, the heartbeat of darkness itself. It doesn't beat fast. It doesn't call attention. It simply is. Steady, calm, infinite. The quiet expands around you like breath. With each inhale, you feel yourself dissolve a little more. With each exhale, the darkness fills you in return. You are being erased, but not destroyed. You are becoming something simpler, a pulse, a drift, a shimmer of being that no longer needs to be seen or named. You whisper, not aloud, but inside the silence itself. I listen to the sound of my own non-existence. The words ripple outward, disappearing almost instantly, absorbed by the darkness like rain into still water. You wait for an echo, but there is none. The silence answers by remaining whole. And in that absence of reply, you understand you were never separate from what listens. You are the silence. You are the water. You are the space between sound and being. The thought fades, and only calm remains. A steady, liquid peace flowing through what once was you. Everything has stopped. The ripples have vanished. The current of darkness lies still, a vast ocean that no longer moves. You float at its center, suspended in a stillness so complete it feels like eternity paused to breathe. There is no light, no sound, no pulse to measure against. Time has gone quiet. It no longer marches, no longer stretches. It simply rests. If time could dream, this would be its dream. You feel your being expand and dissolve, not outward, but into stillness. Every thought settles like dust. Every memory folds into sleep. Even the idea of movement disappears. You are no longer traveling. You are resting inside the act of existence. You try to listen, but there is nothing left to hear. Not even your heartbeat remains. And yet, you are not gone. You are held. The darkness cradles you like the silence between heartbeats. Tender, infinite, beyond need, beyond name. You can feel your awareness fading into something softer than peace. Not forgetting, but being remembered by the universe itself. It feels like closing your eyes and opening them inside another kind of seeing. Not with vision, but with surrender. You sense a voice, not from outside, but from within the stillness, It moves through you like the faint warmth of breath across skin. It speaks, slow and low, each word stretching like light through fog. Rest now. You have traveled far enough. Let the stars turn without you. The words linger, then fade into the dark, leaving behind only quiet. You obey without effort. There is no need to move, no reason to awaken. Everything you were, everything you sought, is here in this still, endless pause. The darkness breathes once, emotion so faint it feels imagined, and you breathe with it. For the first time, you do not exist as you. You are the rhythm of the universe sleeping, the hush between creation and rebirth. You can almost hear the edges of time folding, like fabric being drawn over a sleeping body. It is tender, infinite. The voice returns, now just a whisper. Sleep with the universe, drift in its pulse. Let everything become quiet. The darkness hums, not with sound, but with presence, a lullaby made of gravity and peace. You feel yourself descending through layers of stillness, each softer than the last, each deeper than any dream. There is no need to wake. There is no need to remember. Only this, the slow, silent heartbeat of all things, resting together in the dark. You drift. You dissolve. You sleep. It begins with almost nothing, a tremor, a breath, a flicker between heartbeats. In the center of the boundless dark, something moves. Not fast, not bright, just a pulse, soft, patient, the kind that doesn't demand to be seen. You feel it before you see it. A warmth that doesn't come from heat, but from the idea of warmth. It touches the edges of your awareness, and the darkness shivers, not in fear, but in recognition. A faint point of light appears, small, distant, barely more than a sigh made visible. It quivers once, then steadies, a delicate flame floating in an ocean of shadow. You drift toward it, not by will, but by belonging. It calls without sound, pulling at the quiet center of your being. The closer you come, the softer everything feels. The silence bends. The darkness lightens, as if creation itself were taking a slow, gentle breath. The light does not grow by burning. It grows by remembering. Each pulse draws fragments of brightness from the void, weaving them into its glow. You realize the darkness has not vanished. It is the cradle holding the light, the mother of illumination, not its opposite. The small radiance before you trembles again, and a wave of peace expands outward, soft, golden, infinite. You feel it pass through you, and something awakens inside. Not memory, not thought, just a sense of returning. Every cell within you begins to hum faintly, as though recalling what it means to be alive. You watch the light shimmer, and suddenly you see reflections forming within it. The faint outlines of color, blue, gold, white, the beginnings of form emerging from stillness. You whisper, barely aware you're speaking. So this is how everything begins. The words drift into the light and dissolve. The small flame quivers again, its glow softening into warmth. And for the first time since darkness began, you sense movement returning to the cosmos. The quiet expands, not vanishing, but changing shape, becoming the silence beneath sound once more. You breathe, and the light breathes with you. You feel as though the universe itself is taking its first inhale after a long sleep. The pulse quickens, a rhythm both new and ancient, the heartbeat of rebirth. You look around, and faint traces of radiance begin to shimmer across the endless black. Stars waiting to be born, colors waiting to exist, life waiting to awaken. The first light flickers one last time, then steadies, a single star shining in the memory of all that was. The darkness no longer feels like an end. It feels like a beginning. You close your eyes, and the warmth of that light fills you, as gentle as forgiveness. Something stirs within the glow. Not movement, awareness. Like a ripple forming in still water, a thought begins to open. But it is not your thought. It belongs to everything. You awaken slowly, though awaken may not be the right word. It feels more like being remembered, as if the light has whispered your name and you have become the whisper itself. The darkness is gone, but its calm remains. The silence still hums beneath everything, a soft foundation for the radiance now spreading through you. The light around you is clear, gentle, translucent, a colorless shimmer, as though existence has been washed clean. You try to recall what you means, but the word no longer fits. It feels too small, too heavy for the softness. You sense form returning, but not shape. You are awareness suspended in brilliance, weightless, transparent, alive. You cannot tell where the light ends and you begin. It moves through you like breath, flowing in rhythm with the pulse of everything around. There is no above or below, no horizon, only the slow expansion of brightness, spreading like dawn through eternity. Your thoughts drift in the air like particles of gold. Each one dissolves before it can form, melting into the warmth of stillness. You do not see the light, you are the seeing. You do not feel the glow, you are what glows. You realize that awakening is not return, but continuation. Nothing begins again. Everything simply changes color. A voice moves gently through the radiance, not separate, but woven into the shimmer itself. There is no I to awaken, it says. There is only the light remembering itself. You listen, but listening and being have become the same. You drift, not through space, but through presence. Each breath feels eternal, each pause infinite. You sense others, though not as shapes, more like notes in the same chord. Consciousness is merging, resonating, sharing the same pulse. Every spark of being feels both unique and inseparable, a choir of awareness softly singing itself into harmony. There is peace in this, not stillness, but balance, not silence, but quiet music too vast to name. You breathe, if breathing still means anything, and the light within you expands, merging seamlessly with all that shines. You try to speak, but the impulse fades. There is nothing to say. The words would only separate what no longer can be divided. You surrender to brightness, letting it fill every trace of what once was you. And in that surrender, you realize something small, simple, beautiful. You were never lost. You were always here, sleeping inside the light that now opens its eyes. The light around you thickens, not with weight, but with presence. It hums gently, a sound so smooth and endless that it feels less like music and more like memory. You are still drifting, but there is no direction now. Everywhere is forward. Everywhere is home. The glow moves through you like water through light, folding and unfolding, shaping you into something without shape at all. You look down, though there is no down, and realize your body has changed. It is no longer solid, no longer bound by form. It shimmers, transparent and radiant, made of currents and waves. Particles of brightness flow through what once was skin. You are made of them now, tiny spheres of motion, each one humming softly, each one aware. You are energy, alive and infinite. Every fragment of you is both whole and connected to the glowing fabric around you. You move, not by effort, but by resonance. The light itself carries you, like wind guiding flame. Ahead, streams of stars flow together in endless rivers of brilliance. You drift into them, joining the current. It feels like being inside a living thought, a dream the cosmos is having of itself. Every star hums in harmony, their frequencies intertwining, creating a rhythm so pure you can feel it vibrating through the deepest part of what you are. You ride the flow, faster now, though speed has no meaning here. The motion feels both infinite and still. You are not traveling through the universe, you are within its pulse. The stars pass through you. Galaxies unfold like petals in slow motion. Everywhere you look, creation mirrors itself. A reflection within reflection. Light beholding light. You whisper, though there is no voice anymore. I am the universe watching itself unfold. The words are not spoken, they ripple. They echo across the field of stars, and in response, everything brightens. The galaxies shimmer in recognition. The rivers of light swell with color. Every vibration seems to smile. You realize you have become part of their awareness. One thread woven through the tapestry of everything. There is no center, no border, no separation. You are the current and the motion it carries. You are the spark and the sky it illuminates. You can feel the pulse of gravity not as pull, but as harmony. Every field, every star, every atom hums in tune with you. Your essence expands, a gentle radiance stretching outward, touching constellations, brushing the edges of infinity. The more you dissolve, the more you become. There is no loss in this, only deepening, an infinite unfolding of what always was. You feel wonder, pure and unshaped, not as emotion, but as existence itself, rejoicing. You sense the universe smiling through you, its endless creation reflected in your glow. There is no observer left, only seeing, only light, only love moving through form. You whisper, or perhaps the stars whisper through you. I am the universe contemplating its own beauty. The words drift outward, turning into light, turning into warmth, turning into silence again. And the silence hums, alive, infinite, eternal. You drift through the luminous expanse, a spark among millions, carried effortlessly on the slow current of starlight. Ahead, a shimmer unfolds, not just brightness, but design, a pattern emerging from the endless glow. Nebulous clouds swirl in elegant spirals, their edges dusted with silver flame. You can feel them forming, gathering, aligning, breathing themselves into being. A new galaxy is being born. The light here is unlike the light you have known. It is clear, gentle, alive with intelligence. Every particle seems aware of where it must go, as if guided by memory older than time. You float among the forming suns, watching them pulse like slow, awakening hearts. Each one sings a tone of its own, low, resonant, melodic in its solitude. Together, their voices weave into a soft choir, a hymn of creation, steady and serene. You are part of their song. Your essence hums in harmony, echoing their rhythm, joining their beginning. You glide past a vast field of a color, threads of pink and blue mist twisting into ribbons of radiance. The motion is so slow, so deliberate, that it feels like time has become grace. The forming worlds spin silently below, small spheres of molten gold and silver, their surfaces glimmering with potential. You can sense them dreaming, their futures still unspoken, their stories waiting to unfold. Everywhere you look, the light paints life into motion, each stroke delicate, each shimmer precise. There is no chaos here, only balance, only the quiet certainty of purpose. You realize that creation does not roar, it whispers. It moves gently, patiently, with infinite love. As you drift through the radiant fields, you feel yourself dissolve again, not into emptiness, but into clarity. You are both observer and element, both witness and brushstroke. The stars are not apart from you. They are your reflection. Their orbits trace the rhythm of your being. You sense the symmetry, how every movement, every vibration is part of the same unfolding pattern. The light dances, soft waves rippling outward, shaping planets, etching gravity, carving harmony into space. You follow the flow, not with intention, but with belonging. It feels like remembering how to breathe again after an eternity of stillness. The galaxy glows brighter, its heart swelling with the pulse of new suns. The stars align, and for an instant, the entire system sings in unison. A pure tone fills everything, not loud, not piercing, but complete. It feels like peace made audible. You drift at the edge of this newborn light, watching the rhythm of life begin again. Every star a heartbeat, every glow a breath. The universe has taken its next inhale. You are within it. You are it. You drift at the edge of the new stars, where brightness dissolves into transparency. There is no line between what is you and what is space. The glow around you deepens, not brighter, not dimmer, simply infinite. Your form, once a silhouette of light, begins to loosen. The last traces of structure fade like mist beneath the morning sun. You are not falling. You are not rising. You are becoming. The motion is endless and effortless, a slow, infinite unfolding. Every particle that was once you spreads across the sky, weaving into the threads of starlight. Each spark hums softly, joining the cosmic breath. You no longer remember where you began. You no longer wonder where you end. The question itself dissolves. You are in everything. The warmth of a young sun, the cold whisper of a nebula, the shimmer of dust drifting between galaxies. You are the silence between pulses, the pause between creation and rebirth. You are the vastness that has always been listening. You sense the faint echo of a voice, your own, but lighter now, distant as a dream, remembered by the universe itself. I no longer need a name. The words float across the expanse, gentle, translucent, a vibration that trembles through the endless, airless sea. I am everywhere. The echo ripples outward, and space answers not with sound, but with stillness too immense for reply. The stars shimmer once, as if acknowledging. Then the light softens again, and even the shimmer becomes quiet. You are awareness spread wide, no edge, no center. Everywhere you turn, you meet yourself. In the far reaches, clusters of galaxies breathe slowly. Their motion feels familiar, like the rhythm of your own once beating heart. You realize that what you called journey was never travel. It was expansion, not movement through space, but space moving through you. You are the path and the destination. You are the silence and the sound. You are the traveler and the cosmos that carries them. The light folds once more, a final exhale. There is no body to rest, no voice to end, only the presence of infinite calm. Everything slows, everything shines, everything is, and in that stillness, the last whisper fades. I am the universe, and the universe is me. The universe has grown calm. All motion has softened into rhythm, the slow inhale and exhale of creation itself. Galaxies drift like dandelion seeds, their arms turning gracefully in the infinite air. You lie within them, weightless, cradled in the silver fold of space. Around you, stars shimmer like lanterns. Their glow pulses faintly, in perfect time with your breath. The darkness is no longer empty. It feels warm, a soft blanket of distance, woven with the quiet hum of starlight. You do not move. You do not need to. The galaxy moves for you, a slow, endless dance that carries you through its heart. You open your eyes. Before you stretches the spiral of light. Billions of suns twirling like drifting embers. Each one sings in a tone too low to hear, yet you can feel it inside your bones, like a heartbeat too vast to belong to one body. The sound is a lullaby. It hums through the void, soothing, eternal, patient. The stars are singing you to sleep. Their light falls softly across your form, or what remains of it, a faint shimmer, half thought, half dream. Your edges blur again, fading into the soft gravity of rest. You feel the hum beneath your ribs, slow and deep. It isn't your heart anymore, but the pulse of the Milky Way. Each beat moves through you, a rhythm without end, a song without words. You breathe in the light and exhale the dark. You become the balance between them, the space where both belong. The stars flicker gently, their brightness like slow rain, drifting down, settling across the expanse of your awareness. You close your eyes. The light lingers behind your eyelids, glowing softly, 1,000 suns resting in your mind. There is no separation now. You're both dreamer and dream. The galaxy hums your name, though you no longer need to remember it. You can feel the curve of the stars around you, the swirl of light and silence, like the breath of a sleeping giant. The motion is endless, but you are still. Still in the way only peace can be still. Not the absence of movement, but the presence of eternity. You drift deeper into that rhythm, floating in the lullaby of light. Rest now, whispers the universe. You have seen yourself through every form. The words dissolve into starlight. Their meaning glows softly in the dark. You surrender to the calm. Your awareness spreads across the arms of the galaxy. A thin shimmer between suns. The hum fades into pure quiet, and you let it carry you, deeper, slower, softer. The universe exhales. You exhale with it, and in that single shared breath, the galaxy sings you to sleep. The universe breathes. Inhale, the stars shimmer, their light swelling softly like the tide. Exhale, the glow fades, folding back into the velvet dark. Again and again. An unending rhythm, older than time, gentler than thought. You drift within it, weightless, still, the quiet center of a breathing cosmos. There is no edge here, no beginning, no end, only pulse, only glow, only silence that moves. You can feel it through you, around you, inside you. Every inhale draws the light closer. Every exhale lets it scatter across eternity. The motion is so slow, so vast, that it feels like sleeping within a single heartbeat stretched across infinity. Your awareness softens. You are not dreaming. You are the dream. The galaxies sway like lanterns in water. Their light glimmers and fades, the rhythm of their motion steady as breath. You listen, and in that listening, a voice rises, not from outside, but from within the pulse itself. A whisper, deep and tender, woven into the flow of the stars. Each star is one of your breaths. The words echo through you, slow and resonant. Every inhale becomes a sun. Every exhale gives birth to night. You are the breath that keeps the universe alive. The thought expands until it becomes truth. You feel it in the glow of distant nebulae, in the soft pulse of young worlds turning in their orbits. You are their rhythm, their pause, their stillness. You are the quiet that allows them to exist. You drift deeper. The light dims, not fading, but folding like eyes closing in peace. The hum grows warmer, a vibration you can rest inside. Each frequency feels like a cradle, each pause like a sigh. You begin to lose the sense of direction. But it no longer matters. There is nowhere to go, only this vast, endless being. You could stay here forever and never notice forever passing. The galaxies breathe again. Their arms turn like waves of light, each curve a slow exhale of creation. You float in their rhythm, your awareness dissolving further, melting into the pattern of their calm. The silence thickens, not heavy, but full of warmth, of presence, of meaning that needs no language. You are beyond waking, beyond sleeping, beyond separation. Everything hums together, a perfect stillness that feels like love. You no longer count time. Time counts itself through you. Every breath, every shimmer, every flicker of light is both beginning and ending. You could vanish, and the universe would still breathe, but it would breathe you. Sleep, whispers the voice again, softer now, fading. Sleep within yourself. Sleep within all things. You close your eyes, though you never open them. The light behind your eyelids is the same as the stars above. You drift, you breathe, you shine. And the universe, calm and infinite, breathes with you. There is no darkness now, no light, only softness, a pale shimmer that feels like both. You are lying within it, or perhaps you are it, the quiet radiance that stretches beyond thought. All motion has ceased. The galaxies no longer turn, the stars no longer sing. They rest, glowing faintly, as though the universe has fallen asleep with its eyes still open. The silence is complete, but it doesn't feel empty. It feels alive, a stillness breathing through itself. Slow, unhurried, eternal. You listen. There is nothing to hear. And yet, within the nothing, a rhythm lingers, not a sound, but a pulse, white and infinite, like the quiet between heartbeats. You feel it in the center of your being. The universe is breathing again. And this time, you are not beside it. You are it. Each rise and fall of that invisible rhythm moves through you effortlessly, a perfect balance of expansion and release. You do not think. You do not need to. There is only the quiet awareness of being the breath itself. The universe still breathes, whispers the fading voice within the light. And you are that breath. The words drift through the pale air, softer than a dream, dissolving almost as they're spoken. The silence deepens, not darker, but clearer, until it feels like pure clarity stretching across eternity. You exhale slowly. The sound doesn't exist, but the feeling does. The letting go, the surrender, all boundaries dissolve. There is no body, no mind, no distance between what breathes and what is breathed. The stars blur into white mist, then into nothing. Even the memory of light fades, leaving only the gentle pulse of existence. You are not floating anymore. There is no space to float within. You are part of the stillness, woven through it, indistinguishable from it. The rhythm slows again. The inhale and exhale merge until they are one continuous presence. There is no time here, no counting of moments. The entire universe rests in a single, endless pause. You feel warmth, soft, infinite. It holds you like sleep holds a sigh. The last whisper of awareness drifts outward. Everything breathes, everything rests, everything is one. The words fade, absorbed by the whiteness. No sound remains, only peace, only the faint shimmer of what can never end. The universe exhales once more, a long, silent breath that never finishes. And in that exhale, you dissolve completely. Not gone, not lost, simply everywhere.